Hello, in this video I'm going to go through new function blocks that we've added in the 3.04 release of the KAS IDE software in order to send and receive TCP IP packets of information. I'm going to go through two programs, one to send and one to receive. The receiving program will be running on a PDMM controller, and the sending program will be running on the KAS simulator on my development computer. First, I'm going to go over the receiving program that's going to be running on a PDMM controller. I have added all the TCP function blocks into a new ladder program called TCP comms. These function blocks I already have added. You can find them in the function block library under the System section and then the TCP IPP sockets subsection. As for all of our functions, you can either select the function block in the library or in the programming editor itself and hit F1 and it'll go to a context-sensitive help page on that specific function block where you can find more information on all the inputs and outputs to each function. The first step to set up to receive a TCP packet is to add the TCP listen function block. Here you need to pick which port on the controller will be used to communicate, as well as a backlog. Once again, if I go back to the help for this function block, this is the size of the queue for pending connections. I went using just 1, 2, 3, 4 for the port, although there are a wide variety available on our controllers. You will have to save the listen ID output, as that will be used as an input for functions later to actually further set up communication and to receive the packets once they're sent. The next function block you will call is TCP accept, and you will fill in the listen ID that was the output for the TCP listen function block. And then this will perform an accept operation. So once you call this, it will wait for another device to set up communication before sending an actual message. Then once these two function blocks, TCP listen and TCP accept, are called and they finish successfully, then once the other device sends a TCP packet, you can call the TCP receive function to receive it as a string variable. There also are both bin receive and bin send function blocks. Instead of sending or receiving a string variable, then it will send or receive the message as an array of unsigned integers. For this video, I'm just going to go through the TCP send and TCP receive function blocks that do the sending and receiving to string variables. You also optionally can add the TCP close function block in case you want to stop communicating, or if there was an error, if you want to close it in order to reopen it. And you can always, after it is open, communication is established, call the TCP is valid function block to verify that there are no errors, that the connection is still valid and open. So I am already connected to my PDMM controller. I'm going to just start this project, and then I'm going to go to the second instance of the KAS IDE software I have open. This is showing the second program that's I'm going to run on a simulator that will send TCP packets. Same function block location in the library under System and TCP IPv sockets, but now I'm going to use a different setup function to set up to send packets. So here you have to specify the port of the device you want to communicate with. So that's going to be the same 1234 that I'm going to try to connect to. And here is the IP address of the PDMM controller. You could also note that that's what I'm connecting to here, 192.168.0.102. It's one of our default static IPs on our controllers. And then you can also check once you establish connection is connected to see that if the TCP connect was successful, and then after you do establish communication between the sending and receiving devices, then you can call the TCP send function block, and here you are sending a packet of information of string-based, and you do have to specify the max number of characters of that string. It can also be a variable, but I'm just going to send a simple hello string over from my simulator to the PDMM. So I'm already connecting to my simulator that is running on my development computer. Don't really need to show it because we're not worried about the servo motors, real or fake, in this exercise. Really just want to make sure that I can send the packet from one device, my development computer, to the PCMM controller. So first I'm going to call TCP listen on my controller, which is going to receive the packet. That is done, was successful. Then I'm going to call the TCP accept function block, once again using the output from the first function. And now I can always check this is valid. And now I'm ready to establish communication with my simulator. So I'm going to call the TCP connect function block. It's going to go out to this IP address, which is my controller, and the port that I already set up over here with the TCP listen function block. That was successful. Once again, optionally I can call the is connected or is valid function blocks just to check that yes, everything is still okay. Now I'm going to call my send function, just going to say hello. And now if I go back to my controller, it was successful, and the received data is the string hello. Note that I can certainly change and now say goodbye. That is a longer string, so now I'm going to be limited to 5 characters. If I send this string, I only got the first 5 characters could be, but I could always make this a variable if I need to send larger packets. So that was just a quick introduction of all the function blocks needed to both send and receive TCP/IP packets of information in the new version 3.04 release of the KAS IDE software.